Call this meeting, please.
Sure, let's call our meeting to order. We've already taken got our roll call done. Everybody's here. Minutes, you have a copy of the minutes and those were emailed to you. Is there anything that needed to be added, amended, changed? If not, then I'll entertain a motion to accept.
I'll make a motion to accept.
I'll second it.
I think it's in the stack here. Hold on. These are paper clipped. It might be all of them. This is the Amazon.
I read them all off.
There you go. They're coming around to you.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Louis,
They were paper clipped and I didn't. I usually it's my
I just handed
one
it
to
to you because
sign.
it's Louis to sign, so I gave you
I read
that
them through
stack.
the email, so I'd already read them. So.
Well, we get them by email, so everybody should have them. Okay, all in favor? Opposed? Huh? Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, on our agenda today, recognition of guests. We got any we need to recognize?
Have Miss Willie, Miss Jackie, Philip, Kate.
They're gifts.
Okay, no committee, unfinished business, splash pad update.
Okay, we kind of covered some of this already, I know, in our quick rapid fire discussion. We are taking RFPs right now, requests for proposals, talked to a few different people. Haven't gotten a whole lot of feedback back, but I hope to have something worked out as soon as possible.
They're due tomorrow.
Due tomorrow.
They're due tomorrow.
So we'll hope we get some. I know I've talked to a couple of people. We know some people who do this kind of work who've come out and said it would be no problem. They would be interested in doing it, okay? But because of the scope and the cost of the project, it would require formal bids. So that's what we're waiting on.
All right, 2021 events, COVID-19.
Once again, guys, I know that y'all are just as anxious to do stuff as I am. The daddy-daughter dance has been postponed, so my idea of having a scheduled list of events that would occur monthly at the community center is kind of on hold right now. I don't want to dismiss that idea because I think if we post it in January, what's going to be all year long, it will give the community an opportunity to plan accordingly if it's something they want to be. And they say, oh, we're going on vacation this week. I'd love to do it, but not that everybody would schedule their vacation around what I'm doing, but it would give you an option, to know. Donna used to have a rat card that had Barbecue Fest, Paint the Town Red, and the few events that we did downtown, something similar to that I could post on the Parks Rec page that said, January, we're doing movies in the center. February, we're doing daddy-daughter dance. March, we're doing build a kite, whatever we choose to do. And we will have a list of scheduled events that we could post. It would take place on the weekend. Glad to give my time on the weekend for it. We require probably to have a couple of volunteers to help me out with it, depending on what the project might be. But I think the community center is a great place, and I don't think we really utilize it enough for the community.
And to me, it's easier to have it scheduled and have to move it
I agree.
than to not have it and try to put it together
I agree.
last minute.
If I know it's on my agenda and I can prepare for it as I'm going up. The building a kite, I talked to Jay at Ace Hardware ever since I've been here, which has been about 7-8 years now. I go into Ace Hardware, there's some wooden dowel rods. I bought one time of a much larger diameter. He's got a little section there with tiny ones in there. They're old as Jay's hardware store is. Okay, I don't think anybody's ever bought them. They're 59 cents a piece retail. Surely he can make me no one's ever going to buy these. Cut them in smaller pieces. That way you have the wood to stick for the kite. I got a big roll of butcher block paper that we could use. So we could color them and paint them, put some string on them, and I don't care if they fly. It'll be a fun activity.
Yeah.
But right now, I really can't guarantee when we're going to be able to do anything because I don't know. I'm not really scratching the idea. I'm just saying that I want us to continue to think of it as an opportunity to get more community involvement at this thing.
So are you gonna come up with some?
I had a list I gave y'all last time.
Yeah, we have a list.
Y'all have a list of what my suggested ideas were for this
Right.
year.
Well, I mean, like, we've postponed.
Yeah, so I don't want to repost anything because, I mean, I was talking to the girls at the Murray County Welcome Center about Thunder Over Murray, which was in May. They canceled it. They don't want to be a part of it. They don't think that we have enough time. They don't think that it's going to be relevant. They canceled Mule Day already. So
That's controversial.
that is controversial. And then we're already up until May with them of not having any activities.
Right.
So,
Okay.
you know, I'm thinking that that 2021 will be a 2022 event schedule, okay? That's probably when that's going to really happen,
All
okay?
right. Sounds good. Park sign update.
I told y'all a little bit about that already. I'm gonna discuss it with Kate at our leadership meeting. I'm gonna talk to Dave tomorrow. And wherever he is, if he's not done anything yet, 'cause I don't think he has, just stop and I'm gonna get with the maintenance department and call these other couple of names I got, get some quotes on what the signs would actually cost and move from there. Because he's just gonna be a middleman in this particular, I like to keep everything local if I can, but he's simply a middleman in this situation.
All right. Disc golf.
Disc golf, I have purchased the materials to build the kiosk board. I've purchased the stones to make the tee boxes. Waiting on a little bit better weather to paint and build. It's been kind of wet and cold outside. I have 6 of the 9 catch baskets installed. The other 3 are at Weldrite getting repaired. He hasn't started on those yet for me, but I'm going to try to push that here soon because I'm about ready for them. Also, when I was at my meeting with the Murray County Welcome Center, Erin has offered to sponsor my obstacles at the disc golf park. You got a little money to spend because of COVID, and she's willing to, if I put landscaping donated by Murray County Welcome Center on my kiosk board, to purchase me all I want 15 trees and 10 bushes. She's willing to purchase those for me. It's a little over $1,000.
Nice.
You know, I found a couple of quotes, local quotes. Green giants are kind of like a Christmas tree looking tree. They get pretty big pretty fast. I want 10 of those and 5 dogwood trees for a splash of color and ornamental. And I will put them, they're about 4 to 5 feet tall when I get them. So they're not going to be really truly be obstacles at the time,
Doug wrote that.
but you'll get the idea. And as the park grows, then what you'll see is an actual challenging course that will, like I'm telling you guys, the amount of people who showed interest in this, it's kind of like your dog park, Missy. I didn't know disc golf was a thing. But now that I've posted this, I got people wearing me out. When am I going to be finished? Working on it. Working on it. Yeah, working.
Come help me do it.
It's coming along good. It's going to be a good thing, and it's going to be pretty. It's going to be fun to play. It's just going to be good, guys. It's going to be good. I think y'all will be proud of it once you see it. The kiosk board is going to have the picture of the actual course. We'll hand paint it, and that same pictures of the holes will be on one of the stepping stones at each tee box, so you actually know how to play the game. You know how many feet it is. You know what par it is. It's just like golf. It's a par 3 or a par 4. I had Chief Hay is doing a lot of walking on his lunch breaks these days, and he walked the course with me at Gardenia because he said he didn't see my vision at first. I said, well, it's because it's tough right now. There's no tee boxes. And I walked through the course with him, and he helped me determine what was really a par 3 or a par 4. I don't know. I played golf once, and I happened to beat everybody when I was there.
Yes.
Well, disc golf is not quite that different. It's because Eric, the guy who was giving me the ideas for this, he and I talked.
That's who I would try.
Well, and he said the same thing. He said, you just need to have somebody walk it with you. He says, if it's over 150 feet, it's probably a par 3. Or I mean, a par 4. If it's under 150 feet, it's probably a par 3. He said, also, depending on how many obstacles you have in the way, what kind of bend it is, you know. We have a couple of challenging opportunities out there. Hole 1 and hole 9 are be extremely challenging. Yeah. Some of the stuff in between, because it's such an open space, will be fairly easy today. Give it time. Year 10 it'll be a lot different. Okay. That's all I really got for you. It's coming a long way in a short time, and we'll probably have it finished by March, late March. I'll probably have the tee boxes in and the trees ready to be planted. I will need volunteers to help me with that. Because I also got 10 bushes coming, go along with the 15 trees. Them holes are hard to dig out there. I've been digging all the holes with post hole diggers out there. It's a chore.
Well, I got post hole diggers that go in the back of the tractor.
Yeah, we might need something like
We
that.
can do that.
We might need something like that. Is it the nine catch basket holes, but 25 big, because everything I'm getting is at least 3 to 5 gallons, so it's going to be a big ball on it. You know, what I mean,
We can do that.
They require a little
A little bit of manpower.
Yeah,
And then might need a little help with that, guys. Okay.
if you do it on the weekend, we can come help
It
you.
will be.
All right, baseball update.
Ready for this, Ed? Okay, so I went to the first Dixie Youth Board meeting that I attended was a couple of weeks ago, and I sat in with them, and I got to know Jamie and Will. Jamie's over the Dixie Youth Association. Is she not the president, right? She's the president, right?
What's your last name?
Hudson.
Jamie Hudson.
Okay.
And there's a couple people who got off of the board at that meeting. And there was some discussion about who was taking places, and everything was a pretty good meeting, okay? And I got to get to know everybody. Since that time, there's been a break-in at the Barkerfield community or concession stand area above. They apparently climbed the backstop and went in through the balcony area on the top, which those are really just interior doors. It's really, even if you put a deadlock on it, it wouldn't be hard to chicken it, okay? I mean, they're just interior doors. There was a laptop that was left at the building and it was taken. Okay, so that would be my first recommendation for the Baseball Association. Don't leave anything of value in there, okay? Secondly, I'm not for sure that it took place last year or not, that anybody used the field other than Blake and Brooke Lovett, who had my okay to use it. But in between their schedule, there's a question of who can use that field on the weekends if they're not using it. According to my resolution, they're supposed to provide me, or my city ordinance that they're supposed to be abiding by, there is supposed to provide me with a schedule. And when I see your schedule, I know what days you're going to play. And if you're not playing on that weekend, then I should be able to rent that field out. It's not the Dixie Youth field per se. They don't pay to use it. They take care of the field to use it, okay? Wouldn't want anybody to damage the field or be ugly with the field. But one of the people who are not on the board anymore is now with a travel team who would like to host tournaments out here and offer Dixie Youth the opportunity to work concessions and keep the money. Am I correct so far?
Correct.
And Dixie Youth didn't want to do that. They don't want anybody else on the field. So, I'm going to talk to, her, talk to Jamie and tell her, it's not really your field. It's the city of Mount Pleasant's field. And this is the stuff you provide me. And what you give me this stuff, supposedly 60 days before you take the field with a roster. And I get the $10 per child that plays out there, and you take care of the fields in lieu of the $200 a day fee that I charge somebody else to use that field.
Yeah.
So the 3 tournaments that he wants to have per month would be 1-day tournaments. So it's about $600 a month. He wants to do 3 months worth, which would be about $1,800. Some of the tournaments might be 2-day tournaments. So it could be $2,400, $3,600 that the city would earn by letting him use the field. When I already pay $400 a month, $1,200 worth of gravel, I bought wood to replace the dugout benches. Need to recoup some of this money some kind of way, and that's how I can do it.
What's the pushback from Dixie Youth?
They don't want anybody else to use the field.
I mean, it's not like they do rain out games on the weekend.
I understand. That's what I'm saying.
That's the only thing that I could think of is if there was rain.
Rain out days or not.
Do they do that? I don't know.
I've been a part of that,
There's your better answer right there.
and every rain night game's been done on a Wednesday.
Okay,
I
I'm just curious.
was talking to cause I'm like Bedford when this was brought up yesterday. I said one thing we got to remember: this is not Dixie Youth Field. I said the city could care less about what goes on if you have an opinion about this or not. If we're not using the field, it's not our field.
I do care.
No, well,
You know, I mean-
you don't say you care,
I
but
wanna
you don't
work
have
with
to.
him.
You don't have to. I said y'all looking at it from as the good old boys thing. I said I'm looking at it as a business perspective.
It is a business perspective.
If I'm running Chick-fil-A, and if they don't want me to do something on their property, by God, I'm not doing something on their property. As I said, it's plain and simple. It's cut and dry, but everybody wants to make a big deal out of it, and it's not a big deal because
Not really.
you're in the wrong.
Well, we want to use it as much as possible.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's what it's for.
I would want to make money if I was the city. I told them, I said, if I was in charge, I would make money for the city. If that money is, if no one else is using that and the city is using that, I would make money for the city.
Can Parks and Rec run the concession and
Well,
use that to buy?
this is my-
I'm just
yeah.
saying, I'm pretty good at that.
Yeah, me too.
These are some opportunities that I would say, because if I give it to the other people to host a tournament there, I would tell them that we would run concessions, maybe not necessarily Parks and Rec, but there's the Bass team, there's
Yeah,
DI, there's your group.
The
Surely there's
question
some,
about that right there is who's going to purchase all that food that you're going to do?
That's the
Because
question.
Dixie's food's going to come out, then your food's going to come
Yep.
in. I think it's a great idea to
That's
rent it
their
out.
problem.
I think it's a great
Yeah,
idea.
That's the Dixie Youth problem. They don't want them using the concession stand then.
But then,
But, I mean, that's a fundraiser from them, just because I don't know how well y'all done last year.
Right.
I know when me and Alicia turned it over, I know how much money was in that account.
Mm-hmm.
The following year, I know how much money was at the end of that account.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fundraiser.
100%.
Fundraiser to put money back into your field so you can buy more
100%.
stuff for your field.
That's right.
That's the whole reason I had the sponge ball.
Exactly.
I
100%.
repainted the buildings. I bought the lawnmower. I bought the laptop that got stolen. And I've done the wrap on the thing.
With
Why would you
concessions,
not want to do
Concessions.
Why
it?
would you not? That's a
I mean-
great question.
I
Is it because
got
he
a
doesn't
great
have
answer.
He got a great answer
I got
for you
a
right
great
there.
Because nobody wants to help.
100%. Out of the 10 members on the board, there's only 3 of us that said, hey, we'll do this every freaking weekend to give money for these kids for the future.
Because I mean, that's what you're doing. You're giving back to
100%.
your kids to keep your
And what a
kids
great opportunity
there.
to raise the money. Someone else is going to bring in out of
That's what I
town.
said. I said,
Yeah.
nobody wants to do it.
Well,
then
and you gotta
that's
look at it not just as I mean, you gotta look at it as the whole community.
Yeah.
People are coming here, they're going to McDonald's.
That's
they're
right.
going to the
That's
grill,
it.
they're going to
Revenue,
the dollar store, they're
revenue.
going to
Right.
gas.
It is
Revenue.
revenue for us.
And if it's who I think it is, it's got the travel ball, he's going to take care of the
He
field.
will.
How do
He
you
already
do
knows.
it?
He talked to me today and swore to me, promised, he said, Bedford, after the tournament's over, I will make sure that the field, just like it was the day before I took over, that he says he has done a lot of that work himself.
Yes.
Because don't nobody want to
Yes.
show up to do it.
100%.
All agreements just need to be in writing.
Yeah.
You know, it just needs to be.
Yeah.
Well, I talked to, and I told him today that what he needs to do is fill out an event permit and request use of the field. Because it's not up to Dixie Youth.
Exactly what
Request
that's
it
what
for
I
me.
said. I said, you do what you have to do per the city's rules and regulations. I said, everybody else can shut up because they don't have any dogs in there.
And I would suggest if it's,
Well, they can rent it the weekend, Cedric, because they don't want nobody else. They can pay me $200 a day to rent it for the
There you
weekend.
go.
That keeps somebody else off of it, if that's what you want to do.
and this might be a suggestion for them if they're worried about, you know, their inventory in the concession stand. If, you know, Thursday night or Friday night, if there's, you know, when the games are done, there could be a quick inventory done.
I mean, well, I will say this, I mean, when the little girls use I mean, we just do totes, like my stuff goes in a tote. And then when it's their turn,
Mhm.
their stuff comes out of their tote, my stuff goes into the tote, and we just swap places.
You're able to
have
work
all
it
this
out?
stuff
Y'all
set
can
up.
work that out?
I got all that set up already.
Yeah.
I've done everything
It's
that
workable.
we're talking. We can do
It's
everything we want to do. It's really coming down to people just don't want to
Well, I
feel
told
like
Tyler
they're infringed
the
on.
proper protocol is for you to fill out an event request permit and let me know that's what you want to do.
100%.
And get his
then
proof
I
of
will take care of it.
insurance and all that kind of
I
stuff.
would, I have to have insurance, I have to have all that stuff, so I would need that documentation in place before I could ever agree to let you use it. So let's go ahead and start that process and let me take care of the rest.
That's it.
And if
it.
they're not gonna do concession, let us know, because we can
Oh,
get a
we will.
lot, we can get a lot of signs and
can.
tether
Heck
balls
yeah.
and
We can get all
whatever.
kinds of stuff.
Chick-fil-A sandwiches.
Yeah.
We'll do something, and
I mean, I'll be willing to help.
yeah, I'll be
just
willing to.
playing a little bit of devil's
Gotcha.
advocate here.
Okay.
Like, that's why I brought up the food, and that might be an issue with that, is the equipment that's used to do the field. So if it's Dixie used equipment that they've purchased over the years, do the travel ball people need to bring their own stuff to work on the field,
think-
their own chalk, their own all that? I mean, 'cause it's purchased by Dixie Youth and the
I
money
would-
they
I would
raise.
Yeah.
say
I would say yes.
I mean, like,
I mean, their own dragon stuff, their own rakes, I mean, how far do we
100%.
go with this? I mean, that's Dixie Youth
We
stuff
don't
they've
know that
purchased.
Yes, our equipment. So, I
Well,
mean, if-
I have drags, rakes,
It
and
would
things
help
at
if
the
you
other
did.
field that I would loan them
But 3
for
weekends
the
a month
tournament.
is kind of a lot.
and I think that may
Kind of a lot,
that
too.
may take something, I mean, because I mean, this is like, we,
Pretty good money, though.
we share stuff, but
Good
then
money.
like the girls league, they buy their
Right,
own chalk,
right.
they buy their own.
Paint and.
I mean, I share a rake, but if, you know, if it breaks in the summer, he'll go replace the rake, you know,
Right,
that
right.
kind of thing.
I
But
know they were great to work with.
they
Oh,
are
yeah,
responsible for getting.
and I
their
think it should be that way. I
own
mean,
stuff.
I'm not offering you all that stuff. I'm offering you use of the field.
That's right.
And I think
That's what you're paying, that's what you get for your money is use of the
And Dixie
field.
Youth needs to make sure that that stuff is put away, locked up, not accessible.
Accessible.
And it is. Everything's locked up.
Then
I've done a great job, guys. Trust me. I know what the heck I'm doing. You gotta freaking listen.
Field, and they can check it out from you and bring it back.
all right, I think it's great.
Yeah, and-
Yeah, I don't have any
Well,
problem.
Why would you not want to bring money into your community?
But you also gotta make sure they got their insurance.
Yes, I
Yeah,
know that.
that's
That's
a-
why
that's
the
a
first
big
thing I told him,
problem.
I gotta have that, just like I had. for Blake
Another
Brook.
thing, and this just goes back to some things in the past. We also need to probably make sure that the coaches and the people they're bringing in have maybe passed background
Yeah.
checks. If that's something we're going to require, of our people
Yeah, then they're.
than the people who come
The
in.
same thing I would think holds true for Dixie Youth will hold true for anybody who uses that.
Yeah, I
field.
mean, that just may not be something you think about, but they just need to be able to, I would say with most associations
They
now,
do
that's
that,
something
yeah.
that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that quick
requires-
checklist.
Well, see,
That checklist I
would
gave
take
y'all,
that.
that's
Well,
what
see,
that's what I'll live and die by for associations
Dixie
right now.
Youth actually has their own website that
Yeah.
they do their backgrounds through it. I think we're the only Dixie Youth here that our background checks are done through our police department because it's required from our park and rec. As far as I know of, the other Dixie Youth are not that way.
Correct.
They have to do it through Dixie Youth off of a website, and there's no proof that that person passed a background check. They can't print it off. It goes to the actual Dixie Youth
We
website.
do it here.
Yeah,
No, we
Yeah,
do
we
it,
do it.
it
We
goes
come
through
to
the
the police.
actual
yeah,
police department.
yeah. And I would require the
just
same
figure
thing
out
out of
how to do it.
anybody. I would never treat anybody differently. I mean,
Right,
we're
right.
we're equal, all of us, you know, and so if I treat Dixie Youth this way, I'm gonna treat
That's what, I guess that's
Yeah,
what everybody else
100%.
saying.
same way.
And then if they provide false documents, that's on them, but at least we have asked
I've done my due
to do the
diligence.
right thing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it. It's
All
not
that
the-
would be in writing when we have an agreement.
Yes.
That's right.
100%.
It's
Yeah,
all in, it's
I was-
all in.
And I
there.
told Tyler I told Tyler when he sent me that request, he would get a list of things that he needed to provide to go further.
Yeah.
You know, but first I need you to actually officially request it, not by calling me on the phone and telling me what you want to do.
Yep.
Do in writing what date you want, what month you want, what you propose. That way I can discuss it with y'all intelligently. Okay? And until that time,
Right.
it's just
It's
a lot
in
of
there.
ruffle feathers out there right now. Okay? Before we adjourn real quick, I want to pass these around. I know they're components that are approved Vortex components, okay? I know they're expensive. Got the price to talk, okay?
I think we
I can
should
pass
make
them
that.
around, look at them.
Upside down one.
Five pack of coffee. First is
Put the
Sheesh.
ball with
Yeah,
some
anybody
water
makes
coming
something
out of it.
that's not really
We got
approved
a pool
component.
noodle and an upside down basket.
There is a,
He's got a pool noodle with a circle that's 4800 over here.
those are the ones that are somewhat
That's
affordable.
all right.
That's what it looks like.
I like the big ball.
We're thinking we might could make some of these.
Yeah.
Pool
Well, the
noodles,
problem
I
with
mean,
making them,
flour-
John.
I'm joking.
It's the same problem I have now.
We're just
Completely joking, no.
See how they all have the toe guard on them? The toe guard fits right on that
Yeah.
safe swap connector. There is no other bolts required. You don't have to drill into your splash pads. You don't have to have an ungodly amount of weight here for maybe hurt somebody. This is what we need to go with. Something of this
We might
nature.
could raise some money to purchase that with the concession.
Well, I know we already have the tree. I know it's already ours. And I will utilize
It's
the
a hot
tree,
mess.
just not on my splash pad. Or not on our splash pad. Let me stop saying that.
We can have multiple.
Outside of it as a decoration, something, I'm not saying we get rid of it. I know Donna's already purchased it. But I know y'all haven't purchased the benefit ball component yet. And I say, you know, whether we have to add money to it, whatever we have to do, I just don't think we should go for unapproved components for the splash pad. I think it's going backwards. I mean, there's gonna be repairs that have to be done. We're gonna have to
$6,100 for that.
engineer it to fit.
They really like
Yeah.
these. don't
Can we
they?
put a hose from the water and
That might be what I end up doing this summer. Okay, is sitting out there with a garden hose spraying kids as they run by.
It's crazy how much that stuff costs.
It's lightweight polymer plastics. They don't cut, they don't scratch, they don't bind. You can slide, climb, hang, and they're safe. So that's my recommendation. And I know that we're still a long way away from needing those.
Like that.
That looks like a hot mess. There's a fish. That's ugly.
You know, and they, so I know that
That's ugly. Look like no fish. It's a fish.
Happy.
they have a bigger fish.
That don't look like a fish.
Oh, that's the fish silhouette.
Yeah.
That's a silhouette. I like the Hilo ball. I think it's pretty cool because if you notice, it's kind of geared for both size children, big and little.
I like the shower thing.
The shower thing too. Yeah, I do too. The little stuff. You know, see, that's one that leaves you.
I can see
And
that
it's
ball,
not as
kids trying to
expensive
jump on
either.
top of that.
No, no, it's not.
Wasn't- it wasn't-
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Those are the kind of things we need to go for. And that's about as tall as I am. So it's about 6 foot tall. All the size kids can play on it. And it's,
Okay, so how, never mind, I'll ask you afterwards.
So those are being paid for by the
Nobody gets.
All right, so was that unfinished business, was that?
That's all.
flash?
That's just- I think we're
Okay.
done.
Well, the only thing I added on mine that we needed to officially get into our minutes was the information for feedback from the community
Yes.
on needs. I put that under the
Okay, real
strategic
quick,
plan.
we have a survey, we have a survey platform that we pay for already as a city that we can use to post out this request of what would you like to see happen in the upcoming years.
And you might get more, because I'm just gonna be honest with you, when you start asking them to answer questions and they're having, sometimes if you just post, hey, what would you like to see, and let them comment, you might get better
Yeah, so I
responses.
think that's how we did it last year, or 5 years ago at the town hall meetings, we had
They put it on sticky notes.
sticky notes. What would you
Yeah.
like to see happen?
Yeah.
We took all the sticky notes, compiled them, and the most common repetitive thing was the dog park.
And it,
Then the splash pad came in second.
but if we
you
could
know?
put it not necessarily in a survey format, but just a post and
Yeah,
let people
just question,
comment.
what would you like to see?
Yeah. I think that would be, people will come more near doing that than filling out a survey.
Well, guys, that's really all I have. Like I said, if y'all would really take some time to go over the rough draft of the strategic plan,
Okay.
add, take away, take scratches, and the next time we get together, have, some solid input from y'all, plus the survey that we'll do, and maybe we can put together a new list of most requested things.
All right, if we're all done, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
All in favor? We're out here. There's your paper.
I will call Carl at Fresh Supply Designs and Kevin at Extreme Concept tomorrow and see what the approximate cost of a one-sided 3x5 sign would be. And, because it shouldn't matter what he prints on it, and then I will send him the logo and stuff that would go on it with the park rules, which whoever can actually fulfill my request. Because like I said, our local guy really can't really fulfill it. He'll just middleman me, so.
Yeah.
I'll talk to him tomorrow, get them to hold him.